Day 37, reviewing of Chapter 1. The purpose, I will start reviewing for the first quarter test, and you will also start building a model rocket. Relevance, some rocket scientists that worked on the Apollo space program started with making model rockets. We will use them to develop the skills of analyzing engineering designs. Success, I will make a tube for the rocket's body. I'll be able to answer questions about what science is and its limits. Part 1, review for the Quarter 1 test, Chapter 1, the Introduction Chapter. Remember, you're allowed one sheet of paper measuring 5.5 by 8.5 inches written on one side. If there are out-of-date messages for our students about this sheet being 8.5 by 11, written on both sides, please ignore them. It must be handwritten with pencil or pen, no photocopying, no computer printouts. All constants, equations, and facts that would be helpful to you are your responsibility to put on your paper. This paper will be collected and destroyed after the test. Question number 1. Physics only deals with matter and energy. Basically, you have to have a tool of some sort that can measure an object with some kind of a number, and then we can talk about it in terms of science. There may be a few exceptions to that rule, but off the top of my head, I can't think of any. Number 2, can physics answer questions about what is right and wrong, or what is good and bad? And the answer is no. There's no instrument that we can point to a piece of art and say it's a good or a bad piece of art. We can't talk into a phone or other kind of instrument and have it tell us if it is the right or wrong ethical thing to do. So no, those are not science questions. Equations, drawings, charts, graphs, small objects that are used to explain something are examples of models. And an awful lot of science is the development and the use of models. Is there an official set of steps for the scientific method? Nope. I've seen as few as 5 steps and as many as 13 and everything in between. The first setup of an experiment is used to compare to all the other slight variations of the setup. This first setup is called the control group. The second, third, and following setups of an experiment are altered in just one way. These setups are called the variable groups. The one way that things change is called the variable. Can you perform science without using the steps of the scientific method? Yep. The only thing that is required is that you do things in a logical, repeatable way. Number 8. What prefix means hundredth? Centi. Just like there are 100 cents in a dollar. Number 9. What prefix means 1,000th? Milli. Back in the year 2000, everybody was celebrating the start of a new millennium, a new 1,000 years, so milli, 1,000th. Number 10. What prefix means millionth? Micro. Number 11. Kilogram is the biggest. There are 1,000 grams in a kilogram. A milligram is 1,000th with a TH at the end, and a centigram is 100th with a TH at the end. Small fractions of a gram. Number 12, which is smallest, that's going to be the micrometer. That's 1/1,000,000th with a TH, 1/1,000,000th of a meter, whereas a millimeter is 1,000th and a centimeter is 100th. Number 13. Convert 3.8 kilometers to meters. There are 1,000 meters in a kilometer. There are 3 zeros in 1,000. So I have to move the decimal point 3 places. And on the paper here, I move the decimal point in the wrong direction. I need to recognize that 1 kilometer has lots and lots and lots of meters, so I need to move the decimal point so that I end up with lots and lots of meters, 3,800. Number 14, converting 4 inches to centimeters. On the test, you'll be able to use your grapher calculators to do a conversion if you have that feature on them. Otherwise, you'll have to set up a fraction like this. There may be problems on the test that say which of the following fraction multiplication setups would be appropriate for converting 4 inches to centimeters, or something like that, and you'd have to choose what kind of work here would enable you to do that job. But anyway, the steps: you first write down what you're given, 4 inches, put it over 1, and then we multiply by another fraction with the old unit, inches, on the bottom, and the new unit, centimeters, on top. And then I put in numbers on the top and bottom to make the measures the same. 1 inch is the same thing as 2.54 centimeters. That would be given to you on the test, that ratio. So we can see that the inches on top and bottom will cancel out and will be left over with just centimeters. Both the 4 and the 2.54 are on top, and so we just multiply those together and we get 10. That's rounded. If the 2.54 was on the bottom, then we'd end up dividing 4 by 2.54. Number 15, convert 8 grams to kilograms. I need to recognize 1 kilo meaning 1,000. So there are 1,000 smaller grams in 1 big kilogram. There are 3 zeros in 1,000, and so I move the decimal point 3 places. 8 grams is a very tiny mass. It's going to be a very small fraction of kilograms. So I move the decimal point to make a very, very small fraction, small decimal. Number 16, estimate the mass of a pencil. I just found the mass in the back of the room, and it was about 6 grams. Now, I'm not going to test you on whether it's 6 or 7 or 8 grams, but it would be the options of, is it 0.06 grams, 6 grams, 600 grams, or 6 kilograms, things that are dramatically different. Mass of a can of peas. On the label, it says it's about 400 grams. Again, the options for the test questions would be something like 4 grams. That's very light. That's like 4 paper clips. We know a can of peas are not 4 paper clips. 400 grams would be like option B. 4 kilograms would be option C, and maybe 40 kilograms option D. Well, you should know that a kilogram is in the pound range. So 4 pounds, it's actually, 1 kilogram is actually 2 pounds, 2.2. And so 4 kilograms would be about 9 pounds. You should recognize that a can of peas is not 9 pounds. Estimate the length of a pickup truck. For meters, the length of 1 meter could be estimated by perhaps the length of your arm, or perhaps the length of your leg, or from the ground to your belly button, or from your left shoulder to your right fingertips. Something along that lines. You should have something around your body that is 1 meter. And so 4 meters would be about the length. There might be longer trucks. I know there are. But the options would be things like 4 centimeters, 0.4 meters, 4 meters, and 40 meters. Well, 40 meters is like 40 yards. That's like football field size. We know there's no truck there. 0.4 meters would be wrong, because you should know on your body estimation that a fraction of a meter is smaller than you, and obviously a pickup truck is bigger, so that wouldn't be good either. Length of a new pencil, about 18 centimeters. You should recognize that the width of your pinky fingernail, or maybe the whole pinky, is a centimeter. And so you could lay out pinky, 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 and go on down and see that 18 centimeters would be somewhat appropriate. The options would be things like 1.8 centimeters, 18 centimeters, 180 centimeters, something like that. Number 20. Volume of a soup spoon is about 15 milliliters. A milliliter is about the size of a house in the game Monopoly. So it may seem like 15 is a little bit on the big side, but the options would be things like 0.15 milliliters, 15 milliliters, 150 milliliters. 21. The volume of a large drink at a fast food restaurant, perhaps 1 liter. And you need to know the prefixes and how they all work, from the prefix micro to the prefix giga.